everybody. That was a great opening. Hi, we are back for another reaction time covering more superhero shows that you all love to watch and not hate on, because we're actually doing a good one this time and not Gotham. So you guys are welcome. I'm joined by Dean, the Beast, and Jay.
Hey.
I hate that. Is this going to be your new thing? I hate this.
Today it is.
Today it is. Good. All right. Well, now that we're stuck with that, today we are discussing The Flash, Season 1, Episode 14, titled Fallout, which is, I don't think, appropriately named after the game, but, like, it could be?
Nope, it's not.
Nothing to do with Fallout the video game. Sorry, Bethesda. All right, as we're continuing on here, we're going to go into major spoilers if you've never seen a reaction time before about The Flash show on CW, maybe some of the Arrow because those shows are intertwined, The Flash comic books because Dean's an avid reader of those. You're not an avid Rita. I don't know. Your name's not Rita, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay,
no.
I hope your middle name's now Rita, and you were born as Mark in an igloo. Inside jokes, people. I'm sorry. Hi, how are you? My name's Greg. I'll be here all night. All right, so let's dive right into this. We pick up right where the last episode left off, with Ronnie getting the device strapped to his chest to separate him and Professor Stein. The explosion happens. Barry's carrying Caitlin Snow, and they go back to the Fallout zone. There we go. That's where the title comes in. And it worked. They're separated. How excited were you? I was freaking out.
I did not suspect this at all. I was 100% sure the professor was gonna. I think I even said this on our last reaction time.
Mm-hmm.
I was like positive the professor was done. He was gone.
Yep.
And we were just gonna be left with Ronnie. I assumed with superpowers intact because I know Firestorm is a thing.
Yeah.
That's not what happened, and I was like genuinely surprised.
That's not what happened at all, and we will get into that more later. But the Professor Stein is still alive, and so is Ronnie, with their superpowers not intact, as it turns out. They go back to Star Labs, they start doing some testing on that. This is all before the even title sequence happens. This is like the first 10 minutes of the episode. We find out that the Army also saw the explosion, along with everybody in Central City somehow, even though they were in a desolate, remote area. The Army's hot on their trail with General, I want to say, his name's like Ira or something, right? Isn't it something like that?
Mr. Krabs. That guy?
Yeah, that's
is Mr. Krabs.
Thank you. I had that in my notes too. I was going to point that out, but thank you for getting it. Yeah, Mr. Krabs is hot on their trail. He's hiding the Krabby Patty secret formula recipe. And no, so he's going after them, and then that's the Flash. The title sequence happens. Moving on here to a bit. He goes after hunting them, but we get to see Professor Stein and Ronnie assimilate back into their lives that they had previously. Professor Stein gets to go home to his loving wife. Yay, she cries, breaks down, they kiss. Ronnie gets to go back to Caitlin. Notably, he makes up with Cisco. Cisco sees him back at Star Labs. He's like, I shouldn't have locked you in there. He's like, dude, shut the hell up. We're cool, bro. Cisco's like, ah, Ronnie! And it was a beautiful moment. I cried a little bit. Harrison Wells, still creepy as ever. He's like, sup, Ronnie? Long time no see. Like, what? He was, like, dead for years. How did you feel about the interaction of the cast getting back together?
It was weird, and I'm a little bit, like, hot and cold on Dr. Wells.
Yeah.
And I know that seems like kind of a weird thing to say because he's, like, so blatantly terrible.
Yeah.
But he had, like, one line in this episode that had me be like, all right, Dr. Wells, I respect that.
Yeah.
Which was when he was like, I protect my own.
Yeah.
And meaning like this new species of like metahumans, I was like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I like this.
That's totally cool. I'm in for that. But yeah, I'm totally with you. There are moments genuinely where I'm like, yes, I love you, Harrison Wells. And then there are other moments where I'm like, why do you still exist? You're not even in a wheelchair. Like, give up the charade.
Which really, that's the really like true testament to what a good character that is, because you love him and you hate his guts too, dude. And it's like, that's tough to nail, and they really do get that down.
Yeah, and good portrayal on the actor's part too. I don't know his name, but he's been in some other stuff. He's doing well.
He was in I forget, he was in many things in like the 90s, I feel like late 90s.
Yeah, he always played like a scientist and doctor and stuff like that though. I believe he was in a Disney Channel movie where like the watch stopped time and stuff. I don't know. I was obsessed with Disney Channel.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
You're like, not at all. Mr. Krabs, guys. This is a good reaction time so far. As we're continuing on here, we get Barry lets everybody know. This kind of ticked me off in the episode. I wrote this down. Barry kind of doesn't care anymore who, like in the Arrow, for instance, when he reveals his secret, it becomes this huge, big thing. And should I reveal it or not? Barry's just running around as the Flash. He doesn't even acknowledge the fact that Professor Stein's wife now knows that he's the Flash. When he goes up to him in like a comical scene, he brings them a pizza because now Professor Stein has the taste buds of Ronnie somehow. They're still linked telepathically. He brings him the pizza, and the wife is just kind of like, "Oh, that was quick." Not like, "What the hell just happened? You're the Flash?" Like, I thought that was so messed up.
Did they not address that before? Because I was trying to think. I knew obviously Professor Stein knew.
Yeah.
But did she not know? Did he not?
Not that I recall. So when that happened, I was just kind of like, oh. But I guess her husband being into Ronnie's body was kind of messed up for her to deal with, so.
Yeah. I don't know. I was trying to think back because I know sometimes there's some like oversights, but I don't remember a time myself where like she found out that he was.
Yeah, same. And then he does it without the suit and everything too. I was just like, oh, okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Papa Joe this episode, my good old Papa Joe, reveals to Barry that the presence in the house shows him the crime scene that him and Cisco were working on last episode, and reveals to him that Barry from the future was there, and that was the blood that they tested on the wall there.
Yes.
And Barry, this whole episode, a subplot through it is him talking to Professor Stein about the possibility of time travel. How did you feel about that storyline?
Quick interjection.
Go. Shoot.
Tom Cavanaugh is the actor's name, by the way.
Okay, there we go.
He was in Ed. Do you remember this?
Ed. E.D.?
Yeah, E.D. Ed, as in like Eddie.
I get what it's short for, but I have
also,
no idea.
Ranger Smith in the hit reanimated to theaters Yogi Bear.
What?
JD's brother in Scrubs, if you remember this.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where I remember.
Yeah, I remember him from Scrubs.
And then I'm not saying anything about no time stop in Disney movie, man.
Yeah, I don't know who I'm thinking of on that. I just know that a lot of this show has Disney Channel stars on it, so I just assumed he was from there too.
So Mystery Solved. What was your question?
There we go. The time travel element, the side subplot for Barry, time travel.
Well, the way they explained it, sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so it's like, and that is a thing. He does get fast enough where he's able to do things like that. So
yeah,
it's exciting to me to know that this is like rookie Flash. Like
Yeah.
he's not even nearly hit his stride yet. And we've seen him run on water. We've seen him run up buildings.
Yeah.
And like, it's just cool to know that there's like so much more we haven't seen yet.
Mm-hmm. And segueing from that, as much as the Flash is awesome, he can also be taken down as we see the story continues on. Caitlin and Ronnie are talking about getting a fresh start of their lives, and that is when the army decides to strike in the known coffee shop that I think is Central Perk from Friends. But I can't prove that fact.
It's called Jitters.
It's called Jitters. Okay, that makes more sense.
Which is funny because you just told me you got jitters when you drank coffee.
Jitters. I don't know what that was, but that was a thing. Yeah. So the army comes in. They go to shoot darts at them. I'm assuming tranquilizer darts.
Yeah.
And instead of taking out, I felt so bad. Instead of taking out Ronnie or Caitlin or any significant character, they take out the freaking waiter, and then he passes out, and nobody cares about him at all. Like everyone just starts running frantically. Ronnie is like, Caitlin, get out of here. The Flash shows up in Flash fashion, speedily and quickly. And once he gets there, he's like, I'm here to save the day. The general, Mr. Krabs, throws up this ball. It disperses, and needles of acupuncture death fly down on the Flash, and they're impaling him.
That was actually pretty awesome.
I was sick to my stomach. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, it was brutal, dude. But that was pretty cool.
Oh, no, it was so awesome.
Just like the effect, like the idea of that kind of thing existing was really cool.
Yeah, no, for sure. And the fact that they're always like hunting down these people, the same way Caitlin and all of them are hunting down the metahumans, except they're putting out stuff that can stop them too. That's a totally cool idea and subplot. So it continues on here. I want to say and point out, I wrote this multiple times in my notes, Cisco is just freaking awesome. He's my favorite character of the show. He's definitely the flagship of the show. He makes a Friends reference, comparing Ronnie and Kate to Ross and Rachel. He's like, you guys are like 10 seasons of them, but squished into one whole minute. And because at the end of the episode, Ronnie indeed does leave. But before we get to that, we had... once again, bring up my biggest fear, all the needles that impaled Barry, the next scene cuts to him in Star Labs and they're removing them. They're actually dug into his body. That was hell.
Yeah.
And I totally forgot that he's like self-regenerating, right? Like he heals very quickly?
Yeah, he heals like super fast.
Okay, that's what I thought, but I was like, how is this happening? And she's removing them. She's like, yeah, sorry, blah, blah, blah. But Barry kicks some ass as the Flash. Once again, the special effects are on point for the show, as always. What did you think about the whole army subplot and then finally capturing Professor Stein?
I thought it was cool. I thought it was interesting and threw like yet another curveball into when you start to think you know what's like going on in the show. They're really good about like kind of flipping it on its head. Yeah. The one episode, you know, they have you thinking it's going to be all about him fighting what was her name, Peekaboo. Yeah. And then like that was the episode, of course, at the end where we had this crazy emotional scene between him and his dad.
Ooh.
I was like, whoa, I did not see any of this coming.
Yeah.
And then Gorilla Grodd at the end, and I was like, what the hell? This is not what I thought it was going to be.
Literally, it was awesome. This show continues to do that.
Right, so I like that. I like that they brought another twist in with the army. I mean, we got glimpses of him before, but he was really prominent in this.
Yeah, 100%. And that was kind of like the villain of the week. Once again, I think the show excels very well when it doesn't have the villain of the week. Same thing with Arrow. I think when they take out that subplot, I mean, some of them are cool, don't get me wrong. But a lot of them, I feel like when they focus on the main cast and characters, that's when the show is at its best.
Yeah, I agree completely.
We had a nice nod to when they go to finally retrieve Professor Stein. The cool telepathic link that Ronnie and him still have ends up getting them to find out where the army base is. Another cool Cisco reference. He goes, I bet you that's where they're keeping the aliens, in a very serious moment. He's just awesome. I laugh out loud at all of his stuff. But the Flash goes there with Ronnie. I don't know what Ronnie expects to do because he doesn't have his powers. But they find him. Before Professor Stein kills him, the Flash runs in, runs back out, grabs him, and then they save the day, which was awesome. But a lot of the subplots here, we find out that Stein and Ronnie together, when they put the device back on and they do this cool hand-holding pose, they turn into the freaking Firestorm.
It was awesome, dude. And like, right before that, there was that awesome scene where they like shoot the grenade and Flash thinks he's gonna like save them.
The rocket scene, yeah.
And he catches the grenade and it just turns into like an acid bomb.
Yeah.
I was like, oh god,
yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so now Ronnie and Stein together are Firestorm. They're shooting flames everywhere, saving people. Flash is like, what's gonna happen? And in a nice nod to the pilot episode with his dad both telling him and then Professor Wells, run Barry run, to get off the acid cement that's taking over his body. He ends up doing it, and right before General Ira gets the shot off of Professor Stein and Ronnie combined as Firestorm, the Flash comes in, saves the day, knocks him out. And then they give you the awesome shot of him running and Firestorm flying around him running down the road as the episode...
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
As the episode kind of doesn't end, but ends. I love that whole scene. The special effects, like I said, on point for this episode. And we didn't even get to the Iris subplot this episode. Iris and her... sore subject.
Go on.
Do we get to this?
Let's unpack it.
Okay, let's unpack it. All right, so we have Iris and her mentor through the... I don't know what the post is called there.
I don't know. The paper?
Central City Journal, we'll go with.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm making it up as I go. And it's published by Jitters, the coffee shop. But Iris and her mentor are actually investigating Star Labs, and she's kind of doubting it the whole episode until she makes the link when she meets Ronnie at dinner, and they lie about him being Caitlin's cousin, which I thought was a weird excuse, to then flipping it on its head, and then she compares him to the picture of Firestorm. And now, at the end of the episode, they reveal that they're going to be gung-ho after going after Harrison Wells and revealing all the truths, which I kind of liked. I'm excited to see that.
It's cool, but I feel like it just maybe adds a little bit more than we need at the moment. It seems there's a lot of plot threads kind of like hanging in the air right now. Like we have all kinds of stuff going on. There's these new metahumans popping up. We still are trying to figure out what's going on with Dr. Wells. Yeah. Now they're doing the whole Firestorm and Ronnie thing, which it seems like we'll have a break from now because he's going to figure out some stuff. Yeah. And then there's the main story with Flash and his dad, and then all of Flash's relationships. So, like, I don't know. Maybe it's kind of a lot, but I like it, like you said. Yeah. It's cool. Iris, in general, I feel, is very annoying. Yeah. I think she is kind of a little brat, and she's a little bit nosy, but I guess we'll have to see. I'm not really sure just how I feel about that yet.
I just really want him to be exposed. I really want to see him like come out and tell everybody, listen, blah, blah, blah. And we'll get to that right now because the episode ends with a whole bunch of stuff jumbled together. We get Barry's motivational speech to Papa Joe. I'm going to save my mom. And because I know I failed in the past, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it right. So I have the edge. How'd you feel about that scene? I loved it.
I liked it. I'm all for like that corny, and he kind of like corny, like we're gonna get him speech from a superhero. I'm like the kid who's like, oh.
I'm like, you do it, Barry, do it. You can do it. I love it. And Papa Joe, I just love him. Him and Cisco are just
awesome. Him too. I like Joe a lot, dude.
Me too. I think he just grounds the show a lot. He makes it real, especially because he asks all the questions earlier when they're going to save him. He's like, explain this to me, and Cisco's like, oh, it's kind of like Terminator, and he's like, oh, okay, cool. And then he's like, yeah, this one's like Back to the Future, and he's like, oh, thank God I've seen these movies. And they're like, just their
Joe is like, you know what? Joe is kind of like us. Like he is who we kind of like have our shoes filled for us. You know what I mean? And like he says what the audience members are thinking. he asks the questions like, it's like I find myself sitting there like, wait, how wouldn't she have seen him do this? Blah, blah, blah. And then Joe's like, wait, didn't she see you do this? And then you're like, Joe, my man.
Yeah, you're like, thank you, Joe. You always cover all the grounds. No, he's awesome. And I completely agree with that. The show is so self-aware, too, of itself. Even if its writing gets confusing at times, they totally ground themselves. And then we also get Harrison Wells as the Reverse Flash, taking the General, not putting him in the prison at Star Labs, but bringing him to Gorilla Grodd's torture death chamber, and then Grodd walking up slowly but surely with his demanding voice, and it turns out the General had tortured him with Harrison Wells. And we finally see Wells in the Reverse Flash costume. How did you feel about that end?
I thought that was amazing.
Me too. I was so happy.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
I thought, I don't know, dude. I don't know what I thought they were going to do, and I said this to my girlfriend. We were watching, and I said, I'm kind of shocked that they went, like, full-on Gorilla Grodd. Like, I don't know what I thought. I thought maybe it would be, like, a man with, like, some fur or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, like, they went for it, and I'm all about it, dude. I thought it was awesome.
Yeah, it's a CGI freaking 500-ton gorilla, and he's coming
like
through with it.
8 foot tall.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I love him. I think it's so cool. I don't think it looks tacky at all either, I want to point out to people.
I mean, they haven't really, like, showed him, like, just, like, present in the middle of the scene. He's kind of, like, we're getting quick hands, but we got a pretty good look at him last night, and I liked what I saw for sure. That was pretty good. That was pretty
agree 100%. And then what else would you have here? We got Reverse Flash, we got Gorilla Grodd, the General drops off there. I thought that was an awesome end to that. And then we also we find out, just to carry it back to the Ronnie plotline, that him and Professor Stein are going to go away for a bit, and the Professor Stein has a friend that will help them develop their powers, and hopefully they can gain control of Firestorm together, which I thought was a good end. Nice bow to that 2-episode, 3-episode plotline that we had. How did you feel about that ending?
Yeah, I thought that was awesome, and I like that they're not just like, all right, well, we used our powers one last time, let's go our separate ways. They're like, you know what, dude, we can do this awesome thing. We should like learn how to do it.
Yeah, right. And another cool handshake shot moment, and we love
you. You notice in the background when they are coming together to fly away, and everyone's kind of like, oh, there they go. And then, like, if you look in the back, Cisco's got this giant grin on its face.
Yeah.
Priceless. I love this, dude.
Yeah, when they look at each other, he's like, we love you guys, and Caitlin and the wife look at each other, but then Cisco's in the back like, he's just so happy the whole time. That's exactly how I feel like I would be, if anything. But overall, what do we think of the episode? I loved it.
It was very, very good. I haven't seen an episode that's been like downright bad or even just okay. They've all been really good. Yeah, this one, it wasn't my favorite one yet, but it was up there. It was really good.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And right now, out of our top 3 superhero shows, the Arrow, Gotham, and Flash that we're covering, I think this is my front runner, to be honest. See what I did there? Front runner.
Because he's fast.
He runs and stuff. I tried.
Yeah, dude, I think I'm with you. I think I'm totally with you. The Flash is doing really well. He's been growing on like my overall scale, like comics and everything, because of the show.
Yeah. No, I agree with you 100%. Do they have a comic based on the show characters and stuff too?
They do. I don't read those personally, though.
You just do like the org.
I enjoy, like, you know, they have like the New 52 stuff, and then Injustice is a comic line that goes along with Injustice Gods Among Us, the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's spawned from that.
I hear that's awesome.
And it's actually one of the best that DC's running. And it's 99 cents an issue. Quick plug for that. You should definitely get into it if you're not.
Yeah, I was thinking about getting into that, so everybody go check that out too. I might do
that
myself.
99 cents an issue, for real.
That's awesome. But yeah, so overall, good episode. This was a really good, another installment of The Flash, and we will also be covering Arrow either tomorrow. Is it on tonight? What's tonight? Wednesday. Yeah, so we will be covering...
On tonight.
We revealed our secrets. Yeah, so we will
tomorrow,
be watching...
I'll have to watch it tomorrow because of the stream tonight.
Yeah, Truth Booth. Hashtag Beast of the Week, guys. Check him out if you see this. I'm going to get this up, I hope, on YouTube before this all happens. But yeah, check out Beast of the Week every Wednesday. Do you know what you're playing?
I know I'm going to play some Resogun with you in a minute.
Resogun in a minute. Check out that DLC. Another plug. We're just plugging everybody else. But to plug ourselves, I want to thank you once again, Dean, for joining me on this reaction tab.
I thank you, sir.
I thought you were going to go British again because I really like your British. Do a British for the kids.
Oh, I'd really like to thank you, sir, for this wonderful interview of The Flash.
It started off okay, and then it just got very odd. But that's the content that you guys love to watch. And if you want to watch more of our content, you can go to YouTube and see more reaction times like this one covered by me and Dean, or me and Drew with The Walking Dead Better Call Saul. And I think Mike did some response times with Drew. So we have all of us up there doing pre-recorded content, so you can go there and check it out at youtube.com/TheLevelUpShow, level spelled LVL. And if you want to get all of our content first, along with some cool... I was going to say some peers. Well, along with some cool perks, tiers, and milestones. I'm not Greg Miller yet, guys, but I'm getting there.
Peers.
We like it. So to check out all those cool stuff, you can go to our Patreon, which I will put right here at the bottom for you. At patreon.com/TheLevelUpNetwork. I'll also link that. So you can click that, go there, donate to us, but don't feel obligated to. But if you want our content and you love us so much, and how could you not? I don't know what Dean's...
pointing at it?
I don't know if you're tickling...
I'm pointing at the bar.
It's going to be like here. Like there. But it's gonna go across both of us. So you were where this is. We tried, guys. We really tried. We're delirious today. We love you all equally. As always, be the best fans you can be, and always remember to level up.
Level up.
Kind of in unison again. We're getting better, guys. Just stick with us.
We're gonna nail it.
We love you all. Good night. Farewell, and always watch The Flash.